Hey, welcome to Concrete, Keep It Real. Today we have Kelvin Haynes, Stacey Graham, and we're gonna take a little detour. We're gonna talk on some topics that is really affecting our community. I was affected by it because of those we vote for those that complain about the officials that are over them. This is your chance to make a difference. So we're gonna take this time and let Calvin speak to y'all as to why you should vote for him. Calvin, so you're running for
Lauderdale City Commission seat number one.
Seat number one.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you qualify for that seat? I have to ask that question right there. What makes you qualify for that seat?
Well, given the fact that I was born and raised in Lauderdale,
Gives you the right to run.
Exactly. I grew up as a resident. I was there as Lauderdale was being formed. My parents came out from Georgia. We're second generation Lauderdale residents. My father works for the sheriff's office, and he was the first black deputy.
First black deputy in Lauderdale.
Wow. Area.
Wow.
My mother worked for the medical examiner's office, and she established a indigent burial program.
Wow.
For Broward County. So these programs in which she put in place help to make not only Lauderdale but Broward County a much better area to live in. It attracts families to that area.
So your parents were very intricately inside of Lauderdale.
Right.
Your father was a sheriff.
Yeah, he was a
And
sergeant.
your mother was a medical examiner.
Yeah, my father worked with the sheriff's office for 42 years.
42 years.
My mother worked with the medical examiner's office for 28 years.
So you all presided in Broward this whole entire time. You never left.
I attended college in Tennessee for about 2 years, and then we returned back home. We had a situation with a roommate that passed away, so we weren't given an opportunity to return because of the time frame. This was back in the 80s. I know I'm dating myself, but this was back in the 80s where we had a lot of racial profiling and things that nature there. So due to a situation with our roommate that had occurred, we had to revert back to Broward and finish our education here in Broward.
So the fact that you bring up the racial tension, we know that does exist. What can you as commissioner do to bring equality into the office, bring equality into the community?
Well, one of the things that I want to do in the city of Lauderdale is to change the characterization, meaning change the way people perceive Lauderdale. I mean, there are several things that we can do, but one of the key factors that I want to do is to start with the LPAC, it's the Lauderdale Performing Arts Center. We are centrally located right in Lauderdale. So when an individual, let's take Julio Iglesias, when he gets off the plane at the Fort Lauderdale Airport, he can jump on Sunrise Boulevard, come right down to Sunrise Boulevard, 441.
Yes.
Come to the LPAC, perform a show.
Right.
Then he can turn around and be back on the plane and back home in no time. Now, what we will do is we can take that video and we can simulcast it throughout, not only Lauderdale, but throughout the world.
Right.
And then what you're gonna have is different people saying, you know what, Lauderdale isn't that bad, because if he can get off the plane and come over here and perform a show.
And not have issues, no
Right,
problems.
right. You see what I'm
Then
saying?
we could come and bring business.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. We have to understand that we have a lot of changes. We have a lot of different variety of people that attend Lauderdale.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to start focusing on how can we change that image? How can we make people say, you know what, Lauderdale isn't that bad? And by just making a small change, by pitching the sound in the room.
But it sounds so easy, don't you think? Someone before you thought of this and never had it done? Your father actually worked in the department, so what makes you different? What makes you the person to make this change?
Well, because I have the ability to, there's an old saying and a true saying. Some people see things as they are and say, why? I dream things that never were and say, why not? That what sets me aside from all of the other candidates and from all of the other persons and commissioners who have come in before me.
Correct.
Because you have to have that ability to say, okay, I see something, and I don't see why we can't have it. That's why I can't understand why we can't make the significant changes to our city. And the LPAC is just one mindful change. And I'm not saying that the current commission is a bad commission, it's just that they don't have the vision and foresight. You need someone that can come in and say, hey, you know what? You've been here for 30 years, show me what you've done. Our city right now, we have the highest tax base in Broward County, second highest in the state. Now, the commission will not admit to that, but when you look at your tax bill, if you're a resident of Lockett, then you will see that. And you
Why
will-
is that? Why do you have the second highest tax?
Well, because again, our commission, and I perceive this to be the reality of it, is that we don't take the time to sit down and analyze what we're doing. One of my concerns is, and one of the things I want to bring forward to the table, is that we need to establish what is called zero balance budget. Very simple process, very simple accounting term. All you're doing is you're taking every single line item and you're going to analyze it. You're going to develop a list and you're going to analyze that list. Okay, what are we getting out of this? What are the residents going to benefit from this? How many residents are partaking in this? These are just a few examples that you can utilize. Then you can determine and say, okay, you know what, this is a good idea. Maybe we should move forward. Or you know what, maybe we shouldn't move forward. Maybe we should blend this in with something else. Or maybe we should change the way this is going. Because right now, what we're doing is we're rubber stamping everything. The police department, $20 million, no problem. And not saying, well, what do you need $20 million for? You don't have enough police officers on the street, but I'm giving you $20 million. What is going on? So we need commissioners that will actually go in and challenge the budget. Because this is not about friendship.
So you're actually saying to investigate and find out where's the money being delegated to?
Exactly, and make certain that we're putting that money where it belongs to. Because you got to understand, you have to remember what it takes for people to make that money. You know what I mean? You have the ability as a governmental agency to tax whatever you choose to. That's fine, but you have to also remember the human factor. What did it take for you to make that money in order to pay this bill? So I should be mindful every time I spend your dollar, your tax
My hard work.
Right, you know what I'm saying? I have to think about it. So, okay, you know what? Let's not be nilly-willy and just start giving money to every person that walks in. Or everybody comes up with a project. We start spending money on these projects and not understanding that some of these projects that we have, which are good, but they're not effective. We're not reaching our targets.
So what do you have to say about those that say a lot of here is written with crimes right now? With the drugs that's going on, with people doing drugs and whatnot.
Well, we do have a problem in our city. Our current commission doesn't want to accept it. And I believe that you have to understand that if there's a problem, you have to accept the fact that we have a problem. And we do have a problem. We have different tools that we can utilize. For example, in the city of Lauderdale, we're looking into the Emperor area to revitalize this area. What we're doing is there are 3 golf courses. One golf course, we're going to revamp and make it into a PGA style golf course.
Okay.
That is going to bring golfing back
Yes.
to Lauderdale, back to the quote unquote days of Jackie Gleason.
The tour.
There you go.
Put it as one of the major tours.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's going to bring revenue back into Lauderdale. Secondly, we have a smaller portion, which is a smaller golf course that we're going to be giving to the state of Florida to make the turnpike extension on it. Now, we still have one parcel of the golf course which is left, and this is the fun part. This parcel of the golf course, we're going to turn that into single-family homes. Now, here's the thing. We partnered up with Motorola. Motorola is willing to donate a $2 million program for artificial intelligence as a security measure for this area. So what's going to happen is we're going to have cameras established in the neighborhoods and the streets, and it's not going to be singling out individuals, it's going to be singling out objects. So if it sees an object going from house to house, ringing on doorbells or checking doors, it's going to pick that up and it's going to send it back over to the department and say, hey, send someone out there because something is happening in this area.
Correct.
So now we're being proactive. And so then when the police go out, oh, someone went home and forgot where they lived, they were intoxicated, whatever the case may be. But it's going to provide us with a better sense of security and a better sense of handling these situations. So I think as a point, that is something very, very interesting. They're doing it in other cities and we need to start doing it.
So who are the individuals that's going to be qualified to be in that community?
Well, that's the next situation. They're trying to figure that part out now. The association, unfortunately, this area in Inward is considered a land owned by the association. So they're going to be the ones who will establish what renters or buyers that come into that area. But they will not be restricted to discriminatory practices, if you will. So the city will have some insight to make certain that, hey, you're making these properties available to everyone, not just individuals who you feel should be in that area.
So let me ask you this. What happens if you get any pushback about the second golf that you wanted to bring an interstate highway through it? If some of the residents were to push back, what is then the position?
Well, that's what we're discussing now. We're talking with the residents in that area to try and avoid that pushback. Because what we're going to do is we're going to not only allow the state to obtain the property under a 30-year term lease, but we're going to also have the developers establish a give back to the association.
And that's why I asked that question. Well, how would you accommodate the community? Because not everybody wants to hear rebuilding, especially a highway that can take sometimes 3, 4, 5 years of building.
Exactly.
What is the plan? What is the plan? How long do you expect this highway to be built?
Well, they're going to start next year. The state figures it'll be about 5 years before they have the plan completed. And what it's going to do is it's going to expand the turnpike and provide residents of the West to be able to have access to the turnpike in the event of an emergency. So it's giving them the ability to be able to jump on the turnpike quicker and be able to move a lot more traffic from Lauderdale into the mainstream. So that's their main goal. And what we're also doing is the state is going to establish the area, they're going to maintain it, they're going to put a retention pond in this area. So it's going to look like a new portion of Lauderdale, if you understand what I mean. So
I do have a question that is dearly to my heart. What's your position on second chance?
Second chance. Matter of fact, I do believe in giving second chances. As a matter of fact, Broward County had the Crown Act that was partnered by Commissioner Dale Holmes, which provides insight into the second act. So what it does, it gives the ability of persons to be able to obtain a county position.
A county position?
County position. As long as you bring forth your information and it's nothing to do with harming another individual or any type of financial.
So as long as it's a non-violent crime,
Right.
or not a financial crime that was committed, they will be allowed to
Gain employment through the city.
through the county.
Through Broward County. Right.
That is different, because you have people that change their life and it's hard for them to move on because it's like a thorn to their side.
Right. Right.
Everywhere they go, they're just labeled a felon.
Right.
Less than a human, and they're not allowed to move on. Right. So, another position, what would you do to help rehabilitate those that come home?
Well, I like to bring that program that Broward County has and bring it into Lauderdale. Because given the fact that Lauderdale is moving, we're growing, we're changing, we're making a lot of new things happen, I believe that we need to make certain that we do provide people who need a second chance to be able to come in and partake into what we're doing. And that's something that's very near and dear to me, because I also serve on the City of Lauderdale's Planning and Zoning Board. So therefore, I'm able to see all of the new projects that are coming in, the new houses, new businesses, anything that's coming into our city. We have the ability to see it, to understand it, to help develop it, to change it. And that is why I want to make certain that knowing this information, when we bring in these people in, hey, can you do carpentry work? Can you do electrical work?
And you'll be surprised at how much of them do learn these things, because they actually have trade school and they learn these skills. But I want to segue into my next question that you just semi-answered. What are you going to do for affordable housing for those that can't afford these expensive houses?
Good question. I serve also on the City of Lauderdale's Affordable Housing Committee. I'm the chairman.
So you're just a jack of all trades, just everywhere.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm the chairman of the Affordable Housing Committee in Lauderdale. Broward County has established a program to where we are able to divert our funding for affordable housing. Lauderhill, we're in the process now of trying to partner with the county and mirror their program. Because the thing of it is that as I tell people, when I was growing up, college was an option. Now, college and trade school is mandatory. There's no options. The mortgage, the rent, you can't even get an apartment. Apartments now $27,800.
We're talking about one bedrooms are going
Right.
for $2,800. Like, it's
Exactly.
ridiculous.
Exactly.
We're talking about minimum wage is nothing but $15. Like, it does not, the math does not add up.
Exactly. So my point is this, what we need to do in the city of Lauderdale, this is something that I'm trying to bring out, is we need to start establishing home ownership.
Okay.
Right now in the city of Lauderdale, unfortunately, there's nothing against renters, but we have 70% rental units in Lauderdale.
That's backwards. That's
Exactly.
being in debt.
Right, and this is what I'm saying. So now our problem becomes, not only do we have this large group of renters, when you go to the bank and you want to get a mortgage in the city of Lauderdale, first thing they say is you have too many renters in the city.
Wow.
So why would we invest in your property if you have so many people that are renting? Because a renter will pick up and leave in a minute. So we need to start changing the rental atmosphere and making it to a home ownership.
So what would you do to implement a plan for someone, okay, like myself, let's say, hypothetically speaking, I'm looking for my first home. How would you be able to help me out? What can you bring to the commissioner board that would help, especially minorities, get a home? Because you have families who would do anything to raise their children inside of their own home, but they've been stuck, like you said, in a rental apartment for the past 7 years because there's no way out.
That's a good point. Well, what we're doing is 2 years ago, the governor established what is called the Live Local Act. The Live Local Act, just to break it down for you, is very simple. The cities are required to provide space, properties, land that developers can come in and start developing to create homes, be it condominiums, single-family homes, apartments. Because here in Broward County, we're 10,000 homes short of what we need just to suffice for our county. So with the Live Local Act, that eliminates a lot of the problems that we were having before. So in other words, if you live in an area that was deemed commercial, you couldn't build a residential home in a commercial area. If you lived in an area that was deemed industrial, you couldn't build a home in an industrial area.
But it seems to me that you're trying to challenge the powers that be. You think they're going to allow you to stop them from building their condominiums?
But see, but here's the thing. So now with the Live Local Act, they can build it wherever they want to build. So there's no limit to the area in which they can build in. There's no limit to the height in which they can use.
Correct.
The only limit is that it has to be, the tallest building has to be within 1 mile of the area in which you're trying to build. So what we're doing in Lauderhill is we want to establish programs where we have first-time buyers, where the city would be able to come in and help you to make that purchase. We have programs now through the affordable housing where we have individuals who would want to purchase their first home. The city is giving resources towards your down payment. We're bringing in banks, Wells Fargo for one. We're in negotiations with them to help get these families into these homes. Because we feel that home ownership, again, nothing wrong with rentals, but if you own it, you're gonna put more into it, you're more invested into it.
Yes.
And my whole point is that we need to establish home ownership.
But what about these information that you're providing, but you have individuals that don't have access to these information? Where can they go to learn about it?
Well, you can go to the City of Lauderdale's website and you'll be able to pick up that information under the Housing Authority. So if you go to the City of Lauderdale's website, go to Housing Authority, you'll be able to see the programs that we provide in the City of Lauderdale. We also help not just home ownership, but we also have a program which is called the SHIP program, where if you already own your home and you're having problems, you're trying to fix your roof, you're trying to get your lights,
Renovate.
whatever the case may be, we have programs that the state provides money to the City of Lauderdale.
Seriously.
Seriously. So you can come in and we will assist you in getting your home repairs. We also have a program where if you need appliances in your home, come into the city and say, hey, look, I need to get a new stove. We have a program that we get funding from, not just the city residents, but also from the state, to help you to purchase that stove.
So if you were to be elected and brought on board onto the commission board, what about schools? What would you do to help our children get a better education, especially the minorities who are years back from their counterparts? What would you do?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. One of my main points in helping our youth move forward, again, I sit on the Broward County Marine Advisory Board.
Jack of all trades, man. Both Calvin, Jack of all trades.
We're getting it all.
Yeah.
And sitting on this board, I have to tell you, it's very, very interesting. It's very, very different because what this board does is that we deal with the waterways of Broward County. Just to give you an example, the marine industry is the second largest industry in the state of Florida.
Right.
The only thing larger than the marine industry is the citrus industry.
Explain to the viewers.
Okay. Well, the citrus industry is your oranges. When you go out and have your orange juice and things of that nature there, those are all produced.
That's big in Florida.
Yes.
That's big.
So the marine industry is number 2.
Okay.
We bring in, let me give you an example. The Fort Lauderdale Boat Show, I don't know if you're familiar with that boat show.
Yes.
The city of Fort Lauderdale hosts the boat show for 5 days.
Around Christmas time.
As a matter of fact, it's coming up
Around
in
Christmas
a month. Yeah.
Thanksgiving time, yeah, Christmas time.
So with the boat show, for the 5 days, the city of Fort Lauderdale makes $1.89 billion
Off this show.
just in the 5-day show.
Wow.
We're not talking about during the year. We're not. This
Just those 5 days. Those 5 days.
$9 billion in 5 days. The city of Lauderdale sits right next door to the city of Fort Lauderdale. Why are we not tapping into those resources? Why are we not saying, hey, we have hotels over here. Hey, why don't you bring some of that marine industry to Lauderdale?
You're just a city over.
Right.
You're just a city over.
You're literally right next door. And no one, and when I sit on the Marine Advisory Board, I'm sitting here and I'm talking with Ken, talking with different business owners. And I said, we're giving millions of dollars to the police departments because they wanted to go out and do patrols on the water. They wanted to go out and make certain that the boating industry is well taken care of. I said, well, how come Lauderdale is not receiving any of that money? And he says, there's no one from Lauderdale at the table. We've been doing this for over 30 years. Lauderdale hasn't shown up once.
Wow.
I said, you're the first person
From Lauderdale.
from Lauderdale to come in and start saying something. So to me, that's a problem.
It is.
But to answer your question, in learning with this industry, which is very, very amazing, they have an apprenticeship program where you can have juniors and seniors in high school take this program, the apprenticeship program, okay? And they will learn everything about boating, how to sell, how to buy, how to build, motors, electricity, everything.
And you plan on bringing this in Lauderdale schools?
Right, because in 2 years, when you graduate, you graduate
with a need.
Right. So
Yes.
now this will not only give you this market share. So now you have a high paid, high demand
Yes.
position. So now I can say, okay, you know what? I did 2 years in this program. Now I want to go out and I want to start working.
Execute it. Yes.
There's 148,000 jobs in the marine industry in Florida that are open.
But our kids are just not equipped with the skills.
Exactly.
But you plan on equipping them.
We plan to push. And another point that I wanted to bring out really quickly was that this marine industry is so interesting because I went to an event a few months ago, which I think really blew my mind. They gave the kids 20 pieces of plywood, okay, 100 ties, zip ties, and 2 buckets of glue. They said, now take this and make a boat.
I knew you was going there.
So I'm like, you have 2 days to make a boat? I
With
said,
zip ties, plywood, and glue.
I said, that's
A
impossible.
boat that won't sink too, at that. Wow.
You would be, now these are middle school and high school kids
Right.
who are from different areas. Unfortunately, we had maybe 1 or 2 African Americans, but the rest, the majority were not African American. But the thing of it is that they got in and they joined. They started talking, they were working with each other. And at the end, that night, the canoes were set. They had the paddles, they had everything
Jesus.
going. They came back on Sunday, they painted everything up. And then they turned around and we went back there to the water and we raced. And we spent the whole day racing. And I'm like, how do you take plywood and you bend it and you mold it and you shape it? The guy said, that's the point. Because what we're doing is we're not teaching them just to build a boat. We're teaching them about companionship. We're teaching them how to start thinking outside of the box. Because it's very important for them to learn that at a young age. And now they've learned the skill. So now they can go tomorrow to one of the marine industries or one of your boatyards and say, hey, I know how to build a canoe. And I can build it for you and paint it for you, have it ready to go in 2 days' time. So, right, so what I'm saying is that these type of programs, we need to open up and expose everyone to. You understand what I'm saying? It's not just the kids that need to be exposed. We have programs where adults can go in, right? So if you want to make a career change, we have to open up and show you, hey, this is what's going on. The marine industry is not going to. These people spend millions of dollars. And this is why it's imperative that they put this into our cities.
So, Calvin, what makes this show is called Concrete Keeping It Real? I wanted to ask you, what does keeping it real mean to you?
Keep it real to me means doing the right thing, going out there, talking to people, letting them know there's more to life than just football and basketball.
Yes.
There's more.
Different paths.
Yeah, right. You
different paths. Running for commissioner.
There you go.
Different paths.
My daughter, who I have to admit, is amazing. She just started in medical school.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And that was one of my points. I was like, and something she said that sparked my interest. She said, well, Dad, why is it that we were going by Locked Elementary School, which is our community? She said, Dad, they had a sign, proud to be a B school. She's like, why are you proud to be a B school? Is that as high as you can go? Is that your limit? I said, wow.
Why put a cap on you? Why put a cap on you?
I said, wow. Why are we proud to be a B school? If you notice schools in our district, they're not A and B schools. They're C and D schools.
And you believe or you know you could change that.
You can change that. You can easily change that, but you've got to get the right leadership in there to change that. I mean, I made a comment at a previous meeting in regards to the cities that are around us. City of Weston, they have a program which I'm planning on bringing to the city of Lauderdale. We have a youth program, which is a very good program. But the program they have in Weston is a little bit different. They're taking those junior and senior kids and they're bringing them into the commission. So you're going to see what the commissioner does. You're going to see what the mayor does. You're going to see what public works do. You're going to see where your tax dollars come from, how they're spent, how we create this, how we create jobs, positions, and they learn all of that. And the program was so wonderful. It was so successful that the current mayor, Mayor Hirsch, left Weston, went to Harvard University, graduated from Harvard. He could have went anywhere in the world, but he came back to Weston. And they said, why did you come back to Weston? You could have went anywhere in the world, but you came back to Weston. He said, because Weston showed me through this program how my city works. And I want to come back and I want to change my city.
Wow.
We need to establish those types of programs. So when our kids do decide to go off, they can come back and say, hey, you know what?
I'm going to come back and help my
community. Change my city.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
We have so many opportunities, so many missed opportunities that we miss.
So
and this is why you have to turn around and understand the fact that, look, some people see things as they are. I dream things that never are.
I love that. So Stacey, this is a good friend of you. Why should we vote for Kelvin?
Oh, because he has so much integrity. He's not a politician. He's a public servant. There's a difference between the two. And I know him, and I've seen him, go into, go into areas where you don't see
Other politicians go into.
Yeah. And, give them food and furniture and ask them what their concerns are. Some people only come around when they want to vote.
Or when the camera's out.
Yeah,
when the camera's out.
Yeah.
And I could actually speak for myself. Calvin, you was at #was back to school drive. You donated, you helped, you was hands-on with that.
Right.
And I thank you. And you could, if I could vote, you could vote. I would vote for you. And I hope all the residents at Lauderdale go out and vote. Stop complaining. Make this change. It only takes nothing but an hour or two to wait in line and vote. You know, those that hang around idly wonder why they world is upside down with officials that could care nothing about them. It's the ones that go out and vote and pick the officials that they want to make the policies, to make the rules, are the ones that make changes for you. So Calvin, I thank you.
I want to just leave you with one quick note.
Go ahead.
I've always said, I truly believe in that a single person can make a significant difference.
Yes, I believe that too.
Determined people can change the course of history.
A group.
A group of determined people
Yes.
can change the course of history.
Yes.
So you have to understand that concept. And I always told people like Dr. Martin Luther King was a single person, but he took that vision, he took that goal, and he changed work. So, you know, you may think, well, I'm just one person. It's just one vote. What can I do? No.
You're not.
A single determined person.
You're not.
A significant difference.
So now with Stacy, with Global Youth on the Rise, what do you have coming soon that you would like to tell the audience, tell the viewers?
Oh, well, what we do every year, and we reach out to the community, to those who are in need, getting food for Thanksgiving. We offer our services to, make sure they have a meal for Thanksgiving.
And we actually collaborated with you this year, November 23rd. We'll be giving 30 to 50 turkeys to families who are in need. We would include not our website, but our Instagram page in the information that you need to come to the event. And once again, I would ask you all to come vote for Kelvin Haynes. Listen, he's born and raised. He's on every board. So it's nothing it's no one that he does not know that if you get him in there, that he won't get personal with face to face and tell them what needs to be done in your city. So we'll like to end it here. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stacey.
Amen.
Sunday from 10 to 12 p.m. and we're truly excited because we have Mr. Kelvin Haynes here with us, and he's going to be our lunch and Gatorade sponsor for our first time, and it's going to be great to have the community to come together. Tell them about yourself, Mr. Haynes.
Well, we're glad to be a part of such a wonderful organization here in Lauderhill. It's always been a big benefit to us to help the community. So whatever we can do, we're more than happy to help.
Boom, and that's what I'm talking about. Now, a special caveat to this program is that we're going to have our first reading club for the city of Lauderhill, and our young ladies going to be able to have a reading pal. So we are truly happy about our programs and all about empowering our young ladies. So let's do it. We'll see you this Sunday. God bless. See you soon.
Come on out.
Breaking my back, trying to get that. They gon' act like we cool, but they weren't that. I was dealing with it all on my own. Breaking my back, trying to get that. They gon' act like we cool, but they weren't that. I was dealing with it all on my own.
Breaking my heart again as you go.
We'll get some.